So I want to explain what it's like being a child who wasn't allowed to go to school, really wasn't allowed to go outside, who was beaten every day, called stupid every day, said I had a stupid look on my face by my parents, always made fun of it. My two parents and my sister, who was around the same age as me, were like bullies at school. And all of them are very narcissistic. And my sister got the same gene. And it was very difficult growing up. It was very difficult. But again, I want to talk about things that create blocks. Now, there's a block I have, currently 45, and when I see people dancing, it has an effect on me that's very, my anxiety goes up. I feel fear. The thought of dancing or trying to dance is terrifying to me. And the reason why is because when I was extremely young, probably around 5, maybe 6, we were at a wedding reception, and they were dancing, and I was so excited. There were other kids my age, and we were having fun playing. And my dad grabbed me, just hit me out of nowhere, saying, "Justin, be quiet. You think you're you think you're cool. You think you're something. You're not something. I'll embarrass you in front of the girls." And he would say that. Now my dad, gotta think about that. That man was in his late 30s or older at that age. And whenever we'd be in public and I would see a girl around my age, I was like, oh no. My dad would always find a reason to hit me and grab me and say, you think you're tough? You think just out of nowhere. Say, I'll embarrass you in front of those girls. And he did this all the time. He did it at theme parks, at the mall, at store. So I was afraid to go out in public with him because if there was a girl there around my age, he would beat me. And what that is well, I can't get into that because I'll be blocked, but think about it. Think about a guy that age and the mentality to be that of a child and trying to bully a son because he views him as another person and wants to take attention away from him and impress girls. That's what that is. You got to think about what the hell is wrong with someone like that. And when you're not like that, you're healthy-minded, it's really hard to, takes decades to understand that there are people like that. Super creepy, and extremely dangerous people. Because you got to think about that mind that does that in public that's not embarrassed and say that out loud. What kind of things do they do that they don't share with people? But anyway, that's what he would do. And, hey, damn it, I did that on camera. Oh well. You're so cute. I love you. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Things like that would create blocks. And when he did that, when the kids were dancing and I wanted to dance, and he just struck me out of nowhere, and started saying to parents to be in front of them. I remember it's one of the first times where I remember that it crossed over to a point where he beat me so hard I knew that someday he would kill me by hitting me too hard, and it created a block for dancing. And I'm 45 now. That was 40 years ago. And to this day, seeing someone dance on TV, I can't do it. I feel terrified. This happened when a friend gave me a book. My parents had a friend, and he heard it was my birthday. He got me a Jurassic Park book. I was so excited. No one's ever given me a book before. And I was so excited to read it. When he left, they grabbed it from me and said, well, here, Nicole, gave it to my sister. And she said, yeah, it's your gift now. Ha ha ha. And started laughing because she said she wanted it. So they gave it to her. I was so excited about that, to learn to read. And she said, no, that's too adult for him. I don't think I can trust him reading this book. It's just too mature. That's what she said. And they gave it to her, and she looked at me and went, ha ha, and walked away. Did it right in front of them. Like, ha ha, you tell Nikki, ha ha ha. Justin, you look so stupid. Calm down. You don't know how to read anyway. You're not sad over it. That's what they would say. And I had to act like it was okay, when inside I was devastated. I always had to laugh at my plan, like, you're right, I'm so stupid, ha 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 ha. And it just, after so long of laughing at them harming me and getting hit and being in public, be like, I'm okay, haha, all the time, it really destroys you on the inside. And it really destroyed me on the inside. So this went on. I remember being very, very small, looking out the window. I was in the back seat of the car. Sam, my dad, Sam, we called him Sam and Julie, not parents, or mom and dad. Sam was driving, and all of a sudden he said, "You better not be looking at that billboard, Justin." And I was terrified. I was like, "What billboard am I looking at?" And so right when I looked the other way, there was a billboard there on my right. I didn't see it. And right when I looked there, he looked back and said, "I told you not to," and he hit me hard. I remember my wrists hurt for about 3 days because I thought he broke or fractured my wrists, and he just loved hitting me. And I was so small, really very small, fragile, and malnourished. People were constantly talking about my health because my parents didn't really feed me. My sister was obese. She got to eat everything she wanted. I felt guilty for eating because I thought I was taking food away from them. And then the food I did eat was never actual food. It was going to be the mac and cheese, super processed stuff, really bad for you. So I was never healthy as a child. I'm healthier right now than I've ever been in my life. But as a child, I was always getting sick, and my parents didn't know why. It's just I was malnourished and didn't ever have actual food. And what happened is that kind of created a block. Because while I drive, I'm afraid to look to the sides or look see billboards. It's really scary. And these are the things that happen to you when you are raised in not a narcissistic or abusive environment, but an extremely dangerous, life-threatening, risky, hostile situation every day, every moment of your life. To this day, if I hear a door open, my heart jumps. If I hear a garage door open, even though I don't live in it, my heart jumps because I'm like, he's gonna rush in and start hitting me. You see what I mean? And I'm just gonna leave one more example. I don't mean to keep wearing you out, but oh wait, did I go through them already? I did. So the dancing is a block, the reading is a block, and I had to teach myself to read in my mid to late 20s. Now I read everything. I study law like freaking crazy. I love it. And law is the reason I was able to get over it, because I love reading law, and I love my law books so much. But living through life with the brain wired in such an unhealthy way for so many things, because they subconsciously, your brain is like, this is life threatening, something's going to come out, they might use a knife and you'll lose your life, they might just hit you to the point where they might break something, break your neck, you're going to lose your life. And those are my parents. That's what I was raised with. And it's not possible to love people like that. You see, I've had people tell me, you say you don't love them, but I know you do because they're your parents. It's like, yeah, you're not an empath. Because an empath, like me, and I'm fully empathic, an empath learns to protect themselves, and their empathy and absolute love and need to protect others kicks in when they see a disgusting, hostile person that's a threat to others. And they understand what that thing is. It's not like it's a human being that has healthy emotions. It is a risk towards children, towards women, towards society. It's constantly lying. It will harm anyone in order to move forward so they can get more resources to harm others because that turns them on, and that's what they live for. And as an empath, you're like, that is a threat. We need to protect ourselves from it and protect others from it. And what it did for me is I'm a very active person. I'm turning bad people in all the time. I'm very justice bound. I love, again, my law books. And right now, while we're losing justice in this country for the regular people, and we have an attorney shortage and all this, you become more active to need to take action to protect innocent people from evil, hostile others. But these things that I mentioned to you, those create blocks, and they're very difficult to get past. They're very difficult to heal. And, there's a group of siblings that went through this situation like mine, not probably, certainly worse. They understood the malnourishment and lack of education, not being allowed anything, all that stuff. But worse, to the point where like they were more imprisoned and chained up by their own parents. And I'm hoping that with them, I want to share this video for them to see so they can understand why they might feel things, what they feel. It's always important to examine what you feel and why you feel it, and be able to process it and move forward in life. I had no one. I didn't have any siblings. I had one sister who was very abusive and nasty towards me. I remember one day she put her hand in Jello that we had in the fridge, and then turned around and told my dad that I did it. And that was the worst beating I've ever received in my life. He was so hostile when he picked me up by my hair. Again, I was malnourished and very small. He could have killed me. No one would have known because people didn't know I existed. He picked me up with his left hand while striking me with his right hand, shaking me, using words I've never heard before because they were profanity. And I remember my body hurting, my back hurting, all of my joints hurting for days after that. That's when I started having problems breathing because my anxiety was so high all the time. I would just start gasping for air. And Tourette started to kick in when I started having tics. And my parents would laugh at me when I had tics. They'd be like, "Oh, Justin, shut up. You look so stupid. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, ha." Like that. Not like ha, ha, like they're laughing, but ha, 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 as far as I'm doing this to you to show you how much I don't care. Ha, ha, ha at you. Ha, ha. And you get that with parents who've done that to you. It's scary because those people are alive. They're out in public. When calling the cops, they got away with everything. And today they're still out there and they're more dangerous than ever because they're like, wow, we've been called the cops on us dozens of times. And because we're white boomers, we get away with everything. And they become very dangerous. My sister's the same way. She's like, wow, I can do whatever I want in front of people and I can just blatantly do it and I get away with it. And for some reason, narcissistic, hostile people who are super harmful and abusive towards others, when police see them or anything, they tend to just not want to deal with it. And I found that when police see innocent people, like empaths, they target them, go after them really hard, but they don't mess with bad guys. And that's another really terrible, scary, concerning, I'll say, reality that I had to learn a long time ago. And, we're very anti-justice in America. We're very anti-justice as far as when you look at the Second Amendment. They're like, wow, Second Amendment keeps crime down, keeps murder down, and well, that's great. Let's go ahead and keep restricting the American people from protecting themselves. And the more they do that, the more harm they see. And they're like, okay, more evil's happening, more of this happening. Let's create more of these laws. And you have to think, why do they do that? Why do they create more laws in order for innocent people, that leaves innocent people to suffer? It's not like they don't know what's happening. But you need to think about that because that means that these dangerous, evil people are getting in politics and they're pushing these agendas for a reason. But when you are very pro-justice bound and want to protect innocent people, especially children, which I've donated so much of my life to, yeah, it's difficult. it's difficult to see it and know that there's very little you can do. I mean, today it's illegal to catch a bad guy. They made it illegal to record phone conversations in California because they're like, hey, they caught these murderers and these rapists because of recording. We need to make it illegal. What? It's getting bad. It's getting really bad. But my point is, all of these things, they create blocks. They all, from abusive parents to being older and having to deal with evil government dictatorships in these states like California and Illinois, places like that, Chicago, they create blocks. And you need to be self-aware of these injustices and the abuse that they're purposely inflicting in order to know that it is having that effect on you so you can combat it. Oh my goodness, look at you. Anyways, that's all.